Well, many of us want a beautiful garden and a wonderful yard, but it takes a lot of time to get that beauty. So what if you didn't have to fuss to have a beautiful garden? Tracy DiSabato-Aust joins me now. She is the author of a new book called 50 High-Impact, Low-Care Garden Plants. Tracy, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Gail. Great to see you.
You too.
Thank you.
And what a wonderful idea, because truly gardening is supposed to de-stress us.
Yes, it is.
And if your hobby turns, from a hobby to a chore, then it's not any fun.
No fun. And that's why I wrote this book, because we're getting busier and busier. Life is hectic. We have commitments, or we have a lot of things that we're juggling, and gardening shouldn't be one of those that we're all stressed out about. And so I wanted to provide a list of plants that are dynamic, that are really beautiful, yet easy to grow. Things that we won't have to spend endless hours maintaining.
So somebody like myself, and I'm not a gardener, but I'd like to learn, this book would be good for me too, as to how to get started and not necessarily be intimidated, since I don't know a lot.
Right, absolutely. Actually, people like yourself is who I wrote this for. People who are busy, who want to garden but don't know much about it, because it's set up in a very user-friendly way, common names, so not a lot of Latin there, but yes, that's always good. But it should be, it's a nice, easy approach, and something that anybody could do. Soccer moms, CEOs, TV personalities.
So, any age too, right?
Any age, right. It's not just if we're busy. What we're finding is a lot of us as gardeners are maturing, and some might have some difficulty working in the garden, not being able to do as much maintenance, not being able to do as much pruning or division and so forth. And so these are perfect plants for them, because they don't require that amount of care.
So then you just enjoy the beauty of the garden without necessarily all the work.
That's the hope.
Yes. So in your book, you talk about plants with a purpose. What do you mean by that?
Well, they're plants that are dynamic. They're high impact. They're not boring, the ho-hum. I've been called a plant snob in the past. But, these plants, we don't want just the same old thing. We want plants that we can be excited about and share with our friends. Plants that might have fragrance that will stir emotion, or vivid and saturated colors that would, evoke passion, that get us excited after all.
And then people may say, what is that?
Absolutely.
I've never seen that before.
We want to look really very knowledgeable, don't we?
And you brought a couple examples of what you call high impact. And why are these?
They're high impact because they have multiple seasons of interest. They usually have colorful foliage. They're usually an interesting texture as well as form. And so they give us more than just, it's going to flower with a blue flower one time and that's it. So in this example, this is Brilliant's autumn fern, beautiful copper fronds early in the spring, shiny foliage that lasts all summer, and then outstanding copper fronds through the winter, even in the Midwest.
Wow.
Yes, we don't see that very often.
That's true.
And then over here we have Jack Frost, appropriately named Brunnera.
You can see it looks like it's frosted.
It does, or kind of like cracked porcelain. And if you feel the foliage, Gail, if you feel it's like sandpaper, and that's great because that makes this plant resistant to deer, to slugs, to rabbits. So most of these plants have outstanding traits. They're cold, heat, humidity tolerant. They don't require a lot of pruning, division, no staking. They're drought tolerant. They're not invasive, so they're not going to take over the garden. So they have all these almost practically perfect traits, and they do the work for you.
They make you look really good, don't they?
They sure do.
That is
What's wrong with that?
No, the low maintenance. I mean, you kept checking off that checklist. I'm thinking that's everything. That's the tough part about gardening. If you can sit back and enjoy, that's the best part.
And that's what we want. Gardening is great for us physically, mentally, spiritually. I think especially in our high-tech, very hectic world. So we don't want to give up gardening just because we're busy and we're juggling a lot of things. So what can we do? We can bring these fantastic, easy care plants into our environment and feel better about it.
Now, you have a beautiful garden, but you're also a busy person.
Yes.
I mean, you're a mom, you're an author, you're a triathlete. How do you have a beautiful garden and a busy life at the same time?
Well, it gets back to selecting the right plants. Plants like these that are going to do the work for you. So if I'm biking for an hour and a half and swimming for an hour or whatever, I don't want to come home and be deadheading for the rest of the afternoon. So that's what I've been looking at all these, over the years while I've been racing and so forth. What can we do in the gardens that'll be fantastic, but also give us a life outside the garden?
And so people are looking at this wondering, okay, these are great plants. Are they hard to find?
No. Now, some of them you might have to do a little more searching, but most garden centers should have these plants.
Because if you can't find it, right?
Right, well, that defeats the purpose. It adds to the stress again.
That's right. Tracy, thank you so much for being here. Wonderful
Thank
ideas.
you for having me.
And good luck with your book.
Good luck with your garden.
Thank you.